The air was suffocating with tension, fragile and electric, as my mother-in-law's voice trembled on the edge of collapse. Around a grand dining table, 30 family members sat in brittle silence, eyes casting about for a feast that never arrived. Not a single dish graced the polished surface. Only the weight of expectation and disappointment settled among them. I was nowhere near. Hundreds of miles away. I stood on the edge of a wind-whipped cliff, watching the sea crash and churn against the rocks below. A faint, almost imperceptible smirk tugged at the corner of my lips. I suppose they didn't need me after all. I murmured to the horizon, the breeze snatching my words before they could fall to earth. Her voice had broken over the phone like glass beneath a heavy heel, shattered, sharp, desperate. The extravagant Christmas feast they'd taken for granted had never arrived. 30 plates. 30 forks. 30 stunned faces peering at an empty table. And I wasn't there to explain. I was 6 hours away, letting the cold wind carry away every trace of pain, betrayal, and the naive girl I used to be. The silence stretched between us, brittle and thick. Then finally I spoke, my voice low, calm, deliberate. I figured you didn't need me. No one answered. Not her. Not my husband. Not a single soul. See, betrayal doesn't scream. It doesn't explode or come dressed as a villain. No, it arrives softly, masked by warm smiles, adorned with pearls, and dressed in holiday cheer. It offers to host Christmas dinner. It asks about your future with curious eyes and too many questions. I once adored my husband's family, or at least I thought I did. His mother, Eleanor, ran the family with precision and polish, like a director orchestrating an elaborate play. Every scene rehearsed. Every word choreographed. At first, I mistook her meticulous grace for love. I truly believed I had become one of them. But as my tech startup grew and began to thrive, their questions sharpened. They came cloaked in polite interest, about profits, equity, future plans. Eleanor would call it foresight, her voice sweet as spun sugar. And my husband? His tone shifted subtly, adopting her cadence, her skepticism. I dismissed it all. I shouldn't have. The truth unraveled one quiet Tuesday in December. I'd opened our shared tablet, something mundane, and stumbled upon a browser tab still open, a digital window into a private family group chat. My heart paused as I read. Christmas will be so much easier without her. She doesn't even know she signed the agreement. My blood turned to ice. The contract I'd signed, the one we'd supposedly reviewed together, wasn't the real one. Months ago, they'd buried a new version among routine business documents. I had unknowingly signed away my stake in everything. The company I built, my assets, my future. My husband, his mother, and his cousin, an attorney with a plastic smile and a chilling precision, had pulled it off. That night, I said nothing. No confrontation. No tears. I simply brought him his coffee, smiled, asked about his day. You're always so sweet, he'd said, kissing my forehead. I smiled back, heart hollow and mind racing. Always, I whispered. Revenge doesn't need rage. It needs clarity. I didn't want to scream or shatter plates. I wanted the truth to breathe. Over the following weeks, I moved in silence. Strategic. Calculated. I located the original contract. Time-stamped, untouched, ironclad. The doctored version? Amateur work. The cousin had left a trail in the metadata. A friend in IT forensics uncovered hidden file names, one labeled final draft to fool her. Pathetic. I retained a lawyer, discreet, surgical, brutal in her elegance. Quietly, we began to dismantle everything they'd built on my back. I liquidated minor holdings, moved assets into a private trust, secured my financial independence without a whisper. Then I waited. Christmas was always Eleanor's grand performance, her pageant of control. Every year, she expected me to foot the bill, plan the menu, manage the event, and wear the mask of the grateful outsider. But this year was different. She'd insisted on a family-only gathering, her tone rich with exclusion. We'll handle it, she'd said with finality. I'd smiled. Of course. I booked the caterer. A decadent menu, extravagant enough to rival a royal banquet. Then 2 days before Christmas, I canceled everything. Non-refundable. Irreplaceable. Too late to fix. At precisely 7 p.m., my phone rang. Eleanor's voice trembled on the other end. The food, it's not here. I sipped my tea, listening to the background noise. The clink of empty silverware, the low murmur of discomfort, the restless cry of a child. Oh, I said gently. I figured you didn't need me. Silence. The aftermath was delicious. Eleanor left in a storm of fury, driving 4 hours to find me at the beach house. She pounded on the door, face flushed, her composure cracking like old porcelain. I opened it slowly. You humiliated me, she spat, her voice ragged. I tilted my head. Is that all this is to you? She stormed inside, her fury echoing off the walls. Why are you doing this? Wordlessly, I placed a folder on the counter. Inside, printed emails, chat logs, digital evidence of the forgery, and a letter from my lawyer. She flipped through the first page. Her legs buckled. She sank into a chair, lips trembling. You tried to ruin me, I said, voice steady. I just returned the favor. Her eyes filled, not with regret, but with the sharp panic of exposure. My son, he said. I don't care, I interrupted. The trust is sealed. The company's mine again. The beach house? I bought it back last week. The joint account? Emptied yesterday. She blinked. Speechless. You can't, she whispered. I already did. She left without another word. The door swung shut behind her like a gavel falling. 2 hours later, a single text lit up my screen. Eleanor, you've destroyed us. I typed back. No. I just stopped playing your game. Closure isn't loud. It doesn't need drama. It's the stillness in the aftermath. It's 30 empty plates on a table surrounded by people who thought they were clever. It's the sound of the sea crashing below as the wind cools your skin and clears your soul. It's the moment their masks fall and they're forced to face the truth. They never broke me. I just walked away and left them with their emptiness. Justice, quietly served.